Okay, like I say, you can only tackle one job at a time. I've tackled this job and finished it, so that's good. Right ho. I'll just show you another area that I've just started looking at. I don't know why I did this, but basically while I got the paintbrush in my hand I wanted to paint another area, but I'll show you that. This is an area that I repaired recently. I did this bit a long time ago. I put that piece in recently. This piece went in recently, and this is the original piece down here. And what you can see here is some fiberglass filler that I've just put on. There was a couple of pinholes here and there. When I wire brushed it, just a couple of pinholes came out, only, you know, like 1/8 of an inch. So I've put some of that fiberglass there, and I've just put some here as well, where there was some deep pits. What I think I would like to do is be able to put the petrol tank back in. I might be a little bit jumping the gun on that, but you know, it all needs doing. So I thought I'd give this a try. I'm not overjoyed with it. It has bridged the holes with a coat of paint and protected on both sides. It should be okay. So the metal is plenty strong, but there was just a couple of little pinholes. So I'll give that a little sand and give it a coat of paint. I wanted to just paint this area here. Like I say, maybe I am jumping the gun a bit. I wanted to use that stuff, you know, where I've done this welding, but I'm just not sure actually. I need to revisit a lot of this because it's sticking out. I don't want it sticking out, I want it sticking in, if anything, so it can be filled. I just painted that little part of the boot floor there. A coat of forget about it red, or in the case of this area here, sweep it under the carpet red. That bit looks alright, to be honest. That fiberglass filler, as long as you're not trying to cover anything structural, it's actually not too bad. I've put plenty of paint down these bolt holes, and what I'll do when it's all dry, I'll run a tap through them. This job's kind of snowballed, hasn't it, into like 1,000 times, you know, what I started off intending to do. But, you know, it's enjoyable, isn't it? All you have to do is not let yourself get put off by the fact that there's always a lot left to do. Can you see the way the wing is constructed? No, I'll put the light on the camera. Okay, anyway, yeah, that's not looking too bad. Not looking too bad. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Hello, look at this. This was a repair applied to this car sometime back in the day. Let's just have a look, see how well it's welded on. A tiny fragment of a tack there, missed, little bit there. A bit there that missed, a tiny bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there, nothing. Little bit. Not sure actually, that could just be under seal. Nothing. Possibly the slightest tack there. Nothing. Missed. Burnt away. Little tack. Burnt away. Possibly a little bit there. Little bit there. Tiny bit there. And that was it. In more recent years, but I'm talking probably last 20 years, it became mandatory that any patches had to be 100% welded. So this obviously dates from before that. This is the jacking point underneath the back edge of it. Yeah, it's bad, isn't it? This is the area by the jacking point. So there's like a strengthener behind there. You can see it there, look. There you can see the remnants of the outer sill. And then the new outer sill underneath. Okay, righto. Just sort of trying to work out what I might try and tackle next. So there's that and that. I think it's okay forward, except there's a couple of holes there right at the front. Oh yeah, and there's a big area here. Yeah, I forgot about that. Maybe I need to view this potential work here in context with the work that's been done already. I have done a lot of work already, so maybe I should just bite the bullet, cut this whole side off and just do it like I did the other side and try and do it properly. Yeah, okay, righto. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Hello, welcome to Mart's garage. I've been working away doing various rust repairs, and I feel like I've got to address something on this side, and that is that the sill as it stands is kind of just about okay, but I've got to do some repairs here. I've got to do some repairs at the back, where being just about okay isn't good enough, because I'm trying to join new metal onto old metal. So those that have followed the project know that I did a major repair on the other side, where I replaced sections of the inner sill and the outer sill, and I can't help thinking that I've got no choice really but to do the same on this side, even though it's a lot more work than I would have liked to have took on. But you know, there's major work there, major work there, major work all down that side, major work across the back, major work there. Why skimp this bit? It's going to take extra time, it's going to take extra effort, but I've just got to copy what I did on that side. So I know exactly what I need to do, and I've now got myself in the mood to actually do the job. I'm not, once I get going I'll be okay, but it's a big job. I'm going to start by checking a couple of things, then I'm just going to get the angle grinder and hack everything off that I don't like, and then do the usual thing of, you know, make a big mess and then go about fixing it. Okay, righto. I will come back when I've got more to show. Back in a bit. In the interest of trying to maintain the strength of the car, what I think I want to do, now I might be wrong about this, but what I think I want to do is try and put this brace across the door gap. I don't want the door gap to stretch, so I'm going to make some pieces to go inside here, like in that area there where the hinge is, and sorry for swinging the camera around, this area here inside this door gap for this large sash cramp to bear on. Then I'll put some tension on this and leave it in place. I think if I do it correctly, I should still be able to open and close the door. I'll work around that then, I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Hello. Right, I've got that brace across there. Just put a piece of wood, just about see it in there. And sorry for swinging around. A piece of wood there as well. And it is pretty tight, done it up really tight. So that's what the door gap looks like there. So let's try and make a mental note of that and see if we can maintain that. It does go slightly wider there, so let's not let that confuse us at the end of the job. But all the way down here, that's bent there actually. All the way, it does stick out there a bit. All the way down here, it's actually tighter there than it is up here. But you know, if I end up with that, I won't be too upset. Okay, this door's not very good, but you know, hey, it is what it is. I'm going to get cutting, then I'm going to cut the outer sill off and then see what we can see behind it. Back in a bit. Hello. Well, I've done a bit of frantic cutting, and that's the front part of the sill. That's the rear part of the sill, we've still got a part number on it. I've ground in to the metal there where the weld was, and this part's just about to break off, so I thought I'd just stop and there you go, get the camera fired up. I don't know why they chose to do this like this. It's probably because they were trying to do a decent job, and they've spot welded this sill to this filler piece rather than, you know, plug welding here. So it's sort of an attempt to do a decent job. There's holes here, look. I don't know what that's all about. So I need to grind these welds here so they're not sharp. But I've got the front part off. A little bit of rust there. This is the old sill here. This surface here looks in better condition than on the other side, to be honest. Okay. Now, here's the remnants of the old sill, which were just kind of pushed in. Unfortunately, I did weld this piece to this piece, so I've got to get that off. You know, I've got to go in and break those welds, drill them out, or whatever I need to do. Okay, and I will trim this inner sill back to there, sort of thing, so the new sill can fit over. That's where that awkward box section thing is, and you can see it's relatively intact, but what you can also see is there's no inner sill there. There's no inner sill. And here there's patched in pieces which have come away. I mean, that's a little bit like what I did, but I kind of went a bit bigger than that. And there's the jacking point, which is completely useless. And there's another patch there. So all this needs to be cut away to get back to good metal. Okay, righto. I'll continue cutting and hacking and Let's see what we can retrieve. Yeah, so I've got a bit of work to do here then, I think it would be safe to say. Yeah, I'm annoyed that I've already welded that, because that's going to be awkward getting that off there. Never mind, just got to do it, haven't I? I've cut the inner sill off. It's exposed all this sort of general no goodness. See, there's pieces let in, but they're not, you know what I mean, they're not really attached. I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to grab this and pull it backwards and forwards and just break it off. You just got to get drastic, haven't you, and go at it and keep going back until there's stuff that's solid enough that you're not damaging it by pushing and pulling it. This is just completely... This isn't the inner sill, this is, you know, something that's been put on like that there. So I'm just going to grab hold of that and pull it back and forth. Let's see what happens, hang on. I think I'm going to end up cutting the end, you know, 1.5 inches off the floor, so I've got fresh metal to weld on. I mean, amazingly, the inner sill here and the floor are okay, except in that little bit there. I think on the other side I joined on up about here. I mean, I don't want to replace the floor if it's okay. That is the edge of this floor. This piece here isn't great either, you know. I was kind of fooling myself to tell, you know, saying that it was okay. I've got to be a bit careful though, because if I'm not careful I'll end up with like nothing left. I mean, how is that there supposed to be underneath that? That's the inner sill. So that doesn't make any sense. So it all needs cutting off anyway, because it's not in the right place. There's the inner sill, and this should be basically the inner sill, and it's getting on for 1 inch outboard of where it should be. I'm just trying to work out, you know, what's right and what's wrong. I think certainly I need to get a new inner sill in from here forward, don't I? I think I'll so I'm just kind of working out what to do. It doesn't make good viewing really, does it? I think I'll cut everything off. I'll cut this off as well. Get rid of this. Trim this. I'll trim that. I'll trim that. Get rid of this. Okay, yeah. Leave it with me and I'll come back when I've done a bit more butchery. Back in a bit. Ooh, God. Yeah. You know, these things are okay as long as you don't start prodding them and poking. jacking point delete tick. Now that don't sound too bad, that sounds okay, doesn't it? Not so much there, not so much between about there and there. I think that's okay. So it wants metal letting in from here, you know. Okay. So that piece there actually is relatively okay. But, you know, lying under the car, how can I weld to it? How can I weld to that, you know, on that face there? It's going to be impossible, isn't it? Okay, right out. I'll be back in a little bit. Hello. That was just a slow pass of the damage. I've got a little bit of a plan, and that is each section I've got to work out what I can do for the inner sill. I would like to do it in one piece, but I've got to work out each section differently. In the front here, at the front, I'm going to drill here, drill and plug all the way along there, put the inner sill on the outside of it, and plug weld it through. Right, so that's that area back to about there. This is going to go, and I'm going to repair it. And I'm going to make a new floor from kind of here along here to there with a flange, and then I'm going to cut along here and weld my new inner sill to the back of it. At the back I've got to find somewhere to weld the inner sill to, but what I've just showed you there caters to about here, doesn't it? So I'll just go to that, find some how to do that last little bit. So I'm just going to look for good metal to join to. Righto, I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Okay, I'm trying to leave this piece here and remove this piece. So what I've done is cut away and then cut right next to the weld, and cut right next to the weld, cut right next to the weld, and then cut halfway between. So what I'm hoping is I can kind of go in here and there. I don't know how good those plug welds are. but at least I've got down to just the metal where the weld is now. That's right, there's 4 of them. So I'll cut each, I'll cut out now again. Just leave the weld and then go in with a grinder and just take the weld off. That's worked quite well really, to be honest. Oh, this is a mess. Okay. I've kind of trimmed along all these pieces. Along there. I left a little bit at the front because I think I'm going to have to weld to that. But these have all been trimmed off. Obviously that bit there needs a bit of work. And I've got to trim this as well. Oh yeah, and I've cut that off. Cut the bottom of this off. I'll have to think about how to splice a piece in there. Yeah, I'll have to think about how to splice a piece in. But all these little edges and things are important because they are telling you where things ought to be. Okay. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you that because that went quite well, to be honest. I'll finish that now. And I'll make some cuts here. I seem to remember reaching up here and welding the other side. The very top part of this was still okay. Okay, back in a bit. Hello. Right, not much to see from this angle, but I showed you yesterday all the damage, and what I have here is the makings of a new inner sill. This is similar to how I did the other side, but not quite the same. I've cut it out around where the holes are. Not very good on that one, but hey. And I've cut it out around there where the jacking point goes. My material is only that long, so I've got to do it in 2 pieces. And on the inside, I've cut out that bad bit there, and I've left that piece there, and I've cut out that piece there, which is above where the jacking point was. My intention is to plug weld this into here. Now bear in mind it comes all the way up to there, so I can imagine like 1, 2, 3, and the same here, like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Maybe try and get one in there, and then I'm a little bit kind of stuck a bit further back because of this piece, but I can go in this way. There is metal there, so if I can get that in place, that's a sort of building block, isn't it, to build from. Let's take it off so I'll take it off and I'll clean up all this surface here and paint it with that weld through primer. so at least it's protected. I'll ground that little bit there. You can see actually it is decent metal on some of it. Not so much there. Ow. So I can plug weld back to about there. Then I've got to plug weld from this side. Zoop, 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 zoop. And I'll try reaching up with the electrode and just put some beads along there as well. But yeah, that'll get me started in the right direction, won't it? And then I can tackle these repairs afterwards. I don't want to leave it, I mean, you look at this, this is here, this is all that's holding it together, this little bit of metal here. You know, the flange on the top there. Well, plus all this of course. That's why I've got that big brace in there. Whoa. The door still does fit, it always looks a bit wider from viewing from below. But it does still fit. So as far as I can tell, things haven't moved. But I'm thinking the sooner I get things welded in, the better. Righto then, I will bring you back when there's more to show. There's my repair panel for the rear half of the inner sill. I've fitted it, trial fitted it. And I've given it a coat of zinc weld through primer, and I've drilled it for plug welds there near the end. I didn't drill that one full size because I realised it was roughly where I'd got one drilled to come in from inside the car. You can see where I've drilled for the plug welds. You can see all the holes along the inner sill there, so they'll all get welded. And there you can see where I've wire brushed the inner sill and put some weld through primer on it. And my patch comes just to about there. And then that'll be a separate piece from the front. Wish me luck then. I'll let it dry and then I'll get it welded in. Okay, back in a bit. Right, right, okay. Inner sill, rear half of the inner sill is welded in place. Let's look at the inside. Plug weld, plug weld, plug weld, plug weld, 2 plug welds, 2 more plug welds, a couple of plug welds, 2 more down there, 4 there. Where am I? In front of that. 4 there, 2 down there. Now, I haven't been having a very good success rate with these plug welds that are done down near the floor. These ones are all fine, no problem. So what I've been doing is redoing them from this side afterwards. I mean, you can see that that was a bit dirty. Look, it's got a great big tail on it. There's one there that was okay up there. Then those 2 are the rear 2 of those 3. And then I had to do it here. And even one of these didn't take, so I had to do another one. But that is really strong now. That's really strong. These ones up here were not great. I think this thing shouldn't be here. these ones up here weren't great. I think a couple of them didn't work. So I went up there and strung a few beads towards this back end here. So that's, this also is nice and solid. I mean, there's some flex because it's not supported along the bottom, but you know, that's pretty well solid now. Yeah, so that's in and really well attached, and that has took all day. Door gap is okay. Door gap is okay. So yeah, so quite happy with that. Tomorrow, or maybe a little bit later, I will cut a piece to do along there. Now the only problem with this bit is that all of these plug welds, are the type that didn't go very well. I mean, I could put some up here, I suppose. Yeah, I could put some here, can't I? Which will be okay, but I kind of run out of space then. So I will have to think about how to do it towards the front there. But that's for me to worry about, isn't it? It's looking good. I'm glad I bit the bullet and decided to try and do a better job of it. Okay, righto. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Cheers then. Bye. Better. Hello. Here's my repair piece for the front half of the inner sill. I've drilled holes for plug welds, quite a lot of them, and what you can see here maybe is some corresponding holes. It's 4 there, look. And I'm going to try a new technique. It's one I've invented. I don't know if it'll work yet. I'm going to clip the bobble off the end of the wire, poke the wire through the hole, and then pull the trigger, in the theory that it's got no choice but to ground against this base metal first, forming the arc, and then coming out, and then, you know, coming into the top metal. Because I had a few of these that didn't actually take, so I'm going to try and overcome that problem. Okay, so let's see how I get on then. Okay, I've had a go, and to be perfectly honest, I don't know if it made a difference or not, but it seemed to kind of go okay. Right, that's still clamped there. I've got to weld that, remember. Okay, so you can see the holes, and you can see the bits of wire sticking through on some of them. Okay. Can't see any movement until this bit here, which hasn't been welded. All the best I can do here is not tack, but try and get a bead along this edge here and this edge here. I've got another line of attack at the front. Hang on. When I cut this away, I might be able to get along and put some welds along that edge up there where it makes that panel above. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it does feel pretty firmly attached. So, yeah. Okay, I honestly can't say whether that was better or not, but they do appear to have all worked, which is better than I did at the back. Maybe I'll try it again. But at least I know where the welds are. The thing is, you can see heat. You know, you can see heat. At what point? You know, you can see the heat mark. So yeah, if you can't see any heat marks, it means it hasn't penetrated this, you know, the base piece. Yeah, okay, I think that was a success actually. Okay, righto, leave it with me then, and I'll try and get some beads along there. Not my favourite welding position, lying on my back under the car, but can't really get at it any better than that. Hello. I have just been using the grinder, and I've took the tops off all of the plug welds and done it on the inside as well. I've welded here, you know, a bit of belt and braces. Oh, I haven't ground those back there. Okay. But I've just took the tops off the welds. I have just remembered something that I've completely forgotten to do. I don't know if you remember, but on the other side I pressed a depression into the inner sill to take the bolt that holds the outer sill. I completely forgot about that on this side. So that's a little job I need to do. Okay, right, now the inner sill is in place, I need to break down all the jobs that I need to do now to repair things to, you know, meet the inner sill in effect. So this is one area that needs repairing. Relatively simple, not a big problem there, just a bit of floor and weld it in. Here's slightly more complex repair. I need to cut this out, make a piece, weld it in, delete the jacking point. Under here is a box section. I want to cut out the floor, expose the box section, replace the end of the box section, weld it in, and then, you know, weld in the floor replacement. Similar but simpler than what I had to do on the other side. But the inner sill is in there now to weld against. The big elephant in the room is the awkward triangular panel. So that's looking from underneath. Ooh. I've marked there, I don't know if you can read that, wing bolt. So it's going to go roughly where that bright spot is there. I don't know what that is. I think it's the light shining through a hole. So roughly about there, I need to put a depression in, going that way actually, thinking about it. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do that now. What I might do is get the oxyacetylene and warm it up, cherry red, and hit it with a ball peen hammer. Here's the box section that needs a little bit repairing, but what I'll do it from above. That's my preferred method. Okay, I've got no eye protection on under it, I've got to be careful. Here's the jacking point delete. Quite simple once this is taken out of the way. There's the rear floor bit. Relatively simple. I've got to now extend this to meet the inner sill. So that's a little bit of welding that's going to be a little bit awkward, but not too bad because at least it's new metal. But once again, the big elephant in the room is this piece, much like it was on the other side. Again, when I did it on the other side, I did it from above. Now you say, well, why don't you do it from above again, Mart? I might do that, but I'll show you the reason why it isn't as simple on this side as it was on the other side. Not that it was simple on the other side, it was quite complex, but It's a little bit more complex on this side, and I'll show you why. You see this piece here that I folded out the way to get access to that area there? Well, there's nothing wrong with this piece on this side. This side is firmly attached to the floor here, and it's under there where that repair needs to be made. And if you can see, there's a flange here all the way around, and that is spot welded at regular intervals all the way around, like there and there. So getting that out of the way, I mean, it was easy there. All that had gone. All the front face at the bottom side had gone. There was only a couple of tack welds. So cutting the top out of this isn't going to be easy. I'll have to have a think about how to tackle it. But that repair under there could be very difficult indeed, because I don't have clear access from above. See, this is perfect. Okay, so let's quietly forget about that for now then, and think about the ones that I can do. Although, to be honest, sometimes it's hard. It's better to tackle the hardest thing first. Right, okay, that's enough for my session today. I got the rear half of the inner sill on yesterday and the front half of it on today, and it's taken quite a while, to be honest. Okay, door gap, check, still okay. So let's do a quick sweep then, compared to how it was. That's all got to be trimmed away. All of the holes that were there are still there, but that's not looking too bad now. That's all the way front to rear of the inner sill, and a slightly broader view there. Okay, right. Thanks for joining me in the garage then. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Shall I do a more broad view? Hang on. Thanks for joining me in the garage then. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then. Bye.